Hello, welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Devecioglu, your host. I am welcoming you to episode 45 today in the American Business Podcast. We are broadcasting live, streaming live from New York metro area, and we have a great guest today, Paul Pector with us from Long Island Care. Let me welcome Paul, and we'll start our conversation together. Hello, Paul. Welcome to the
Hey,
podcast.
thank you so much, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here with you and your audience.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is all mine. So, how is your week going so far? How was your 4th of July?
Well, the 4th of July was, as you could imagine, a little noisy because of all the fireworks, but having a 3-day weekend was very pleasurable, being able to rest because things in the food banking world right now are very busy. With the
Yes.
number of people who struggle to put food on their table increasing. How was your July 4th?
That was actually great. So it was a great time to spend time with the family
Hmm.
and appreciate the Independence Day in the country. So that was really good. And just like you mentioned, it was a long weekend, so it was really refreshing. And now we are back in American Business Podcast. We had no streaming last week because of 4th of July, which we all appreciated and enjoyed it. So we are
Sure.
starting. We are back from 4th of July holiday, and we are kicking off the episodes for the summer with you. So I'm excited to have you in this episode. Thank you so much for being with us.
Great. I'm happy to be here with you. Thanks for inviting me.
Sure, pleasure is all mine. We have a lot to cover and many different subjects to talk about. We love to hear from you as well as our audience, of course. So, as a start, would you please introduce Long Island Cares and yourself for our audience and for our listeners to learn, please?
Sure, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, I'm Paul Pactor. I'm currently the president and chief executive officer of Long Island Cares, the Harry Chapin Regional Food Bank. We provide over 16 million pounds of food to feed 318,000 Long Islanders who struggle with food insecurity. We've been doing this since 1980 when our organization was founded by the late singer songwriter Harry Chapin. In addition to providing food and supporting about 360 community based organizations with food and funding, we also provide a series of direct service programs. We have 9 locations in Nassau and Suffolk combined. We operate 6 of our own emergency food pantries to feed the community. A great deal of mobile outreach services to seniors, to our veterans, to children, to the homeless. We provide community education programs about nutrition and healthy eating, as well as a lot of work within government, looking at social policy, advocating for change. Our organization is rather an historic organization. We were the first organization on Long Island to address the issue of hunger, and we've been doing it now for 45 years.
That's really exciting. Um, how did you choose your career?
Well, my career, Kevin, started in 1976 when I was a student at the Adelphi University School of Social Work in Garden City. I received my bachelor's degree in social work in 1978 and did an accelerated master's degree in social work program in 1979, and then began my career. I chose social work because there's always been something about me, I guess, in my DNA for helping people in need. So, for the first 27 years of my career, I worked in the mental health system. I worked for a few nonprofit mental health organizations that addressed mental health, substance abuse, developmental disabilities. And in 2008, I switched careers and came into food banking. And it's been such a rewarding career for me. And as you may or may not know, this is going to be my last year as president and CEO of Long Island Cares. I decided after 17 years and 46 years of working that it was time for me to retire. And so I'm looking forward to that. But I love my career. I love social work. I've accomplished a great deal. I've worked with some amazing people, both in the nonprofit and for profit community. And I'm very anxious to see what the future brings with new, fresh, young leadership. That's what I'm excited about.
Yes, I always appreciate Long Island Cares and your leadership. So
You.
I've been watching, following for a long time. So that's also an exciting news for Long Island Cares in terms of inviting a new leadership. And thank you for sharing these news with us in
Sure.
this podcast. Um, well, let's talk about your work a little bit, if that's okay.
Hmm.
How is your work? What are the exciting and challenging parts of your work on daily basis?
Hmm. Well, that's a good question, Kevin. Every day there's something exciting and challenging going on at Long Island Cares. You know, when you work with 300 other organizations, and we're talking about working with thousands of employees that are, and volunteers that are part of these organizations, trying to feed people is not easy. On a daily basis, we're ordering, millions of pounds of food a year to distribute into the community. We're looking at the challenges that the population we serve are experiencing. And, food insecurity and poverty on Long Island, at least, has become uh, so prominent because of the affordability issue that Long Island is known for. The cost of housing, rent, mortgages, property taxes, school taxes uh, are very challenging for middle class families. And if you look at the population that is in need of emergency food assistance, we're really talking about 40% of the population are families that are working two, three, four jobs just to make ends meet, and that in itself is challenging. We work with a lot of veterans, and you'd think, how sad is it that veterans who fought for our country, who served with distinction and honor, have gone from the front lines of a war to the food lines of a local pantry. That's a pretty sad commentary on our society and on our nation. But every day we are, challenged to bring in more food, whether we purchase it or it comes in as donations. We want to make sure that, we have a healthy menu available for the agencies to distribute. We've been very active in the last 6 months with the new Congress and looking at, major budgetary cuts to critical programs and services, which, you look at the Medicaid program, you look at SNAP, and the fact that there are hundreds of billions of dollars that are going to be cut from these programs. And it's going to result in yet another increase in the number of people. So, during COVID, we saw a big spike in the number of people that were coming to the pantries. In the last year and a half, because of affordability and the cost of, goods, we saw a 30% increase in the number of people. That was another 65,000 people utilizing the system. And now, as a result of the cuts to the SNAP program, we're probably going to see another 12 to 15,000 people coming to the pantry. So this creates a challenging environment for us every single day.
Yeah, these are the big numbers. It
Yeah,
also shows how important is the mission of Long Island Cares as well. That we are also this is a great opportunity to talk about it and share these informative content with our audience.
yeah,
I truly appreciate it.
sure.
Um, so when we there are actually a lot of nonprofits nationwide as well as in our region,
Hmm.
and I also, in my own capacity, from the technology and business software point of view, I work with many different nonprofits as well. So some are doing well, some are struggling. They all have great missions in their own own category. They always try to create good and serve communities in
Hmm.
their own lane. So, since you have decades of experience, how do you see the state of nonprofits in general? What type of challenges are they having based on your observation, and how they can actually serve communities better
Yeah,
in a more effective way,
yeah.
in your
That's
opinion?
another excellent question. First of all, I think the biggest challenge for nonprofit organizations today is going to be tied to fundraising. When you have an economy where people are struggling, working multiple jobs, people aren't able to donate or contribute as much as they would hope to be able to do that. So many nonprofits, including Long Island Cares, is seeing sort of a static income from fundraising. We're not able to predict that we're going to have a 20% increase in fundraising or a 10% increase in fundraising. Things right now are flat. People, let's say, Kevin, that donated $50 last year are now donating $25 this year. So I think it's going to be a significant challenge for the nonprofits to launch successful fundraising campaigns. I think nonprofits who rely on government for more than 85% of their funding are going to have a challenge as well, because although government continues to support nonprofit organizations and continue to pick up a good part of Medicaid costs and Medicare costs, uh, government's going to have to pull back as well and reduce the amount of funding that they can provide. And that's going to be government on the local, state, and federal level. The other challenge I see nonprofits having these days is maintaining a talented and strong workforce. Historically, nonprofit organizations haven't paid the higher salaries that people can get in the for profit sector. And so being able to provide a minimum wage of $15 or $17, although it sounds significant to other parts of the country where they're still paying $9 or $10 an hour, nonprofits have to pay more. We're seeing it here at Long Island Cares, where our minimum wage is $23 an hour, because you just can't attract and retain a talented workforce or work pool by not having the ability to provide them with a decent salary, competitive salary, good fringe benefits, certainly healthcare, the opportunity to work remotely, a few days a week as well. So between the workforce and retaining staff and a drop in fundraising and the possibility of less government funding, that's what we're seeing as challenges today in the nonprofit field.
Um, let's talk about AI a little bit. It's a popular subject, and that's so we get the figures, right? So we have different subjects that we cover every week, and AI is the most popular subject. And when we look
True.
at the news and media in general, we learn something new every day about AI and different developments. So I like to learn about your take. What do you think about AI? How AI is um, affecting nonprofits and businesses in general, and what type of challenges are there, especially for nonprofits, to adopt AI in their own operations?
Well, AI certainly seems to be on the mind of everyone around the world. It's become so popular. I know there's been recent articles written where economists are predicting that AI will replace a certain percentage of the workforce. Uh, I know in the nonprofit field, there are organizations that are beginning to experiment with AI to see where it can be helpful. I know many people are using programs like Chat GPT to do some reporting and write letters and create speeches. Here at Long Island Cares, we have invested in AI programming in terms of our front desk reception area, where we're going to be automating a person's visit to the food bank. So they'll come in the building and they'll see a panel in front of them, and the AI chatbot will ask certain questions, like who were you here to see, and what's the purpose of your visit, and what was the time of your appointment. And then our AI chatbot will call us on the phone so we can go out to the front and welcome them. I think we're in the very early stages of AI. I know nonprofit organizations are sometimes reluctant to take a risk with technology because of the costs incurred, not just for hardware, but for software. But I think there's a lot of promise through AI. I saw the same thing decades ago with virtual reality, and I saw how that could be applied to working with people with physical disabilities. So I think AI offers a great opportunity for people who are disabled, especially those that can't speak, where they can create a presence, an AI presence, and carry on a conversation and learn. There are AI bots that could read books to you, that can, complete equations for you. So I think there's tremendous promise. But like everything else, I think we have to be cautious. You just can't jump into things. So maybe it's going to take another 2, 3 years until a majority of businesses, get into the AI movement. But one thing I believe is that it's coming, and you can't really push back much on it. Just like credit cards. When credit cards were introduced, people said, "No, no, I'm not touching this plastic money. No, this is not for me." Well, now most Americans, most people across the globe have more than one credit card.
Yes, that's a great point. I was actually watching a podcast earlier, and there
Hmm.
was a similar conversation. So they were offering a video sharing software, and they were asking him like, "Why should I use your software if I want to watch a video or something? I just turn on the TV." So
Hmm.
they were just talking about this pushback back in the time, and but I think it's part of the evolution. I think these things are
Sure.
evolving. I experienced it myself. So we offer cloud-based software systems. Now it
Hmm.
is normal, but say 8 years ago, everyone was very skeptical. Why should I put my data in cloud? Is it safe?
Yes.
Who else is gonna see my data?
Right.
Now all we talk about cloud.
Yeah.
So that was very, it's also another example of how the change is actually
Hmm.
taking place step by step. So to your point, I'm sure we're gonna see this also in the case of
Yeah.
AI as well. Well, in your opinion, will AI replace jobs and
Well,
humans?
that's what I'm hearing. Some of the research that's being done now, some of the opinion pieces that are being, published are, predicting that there are certain instances where AI could conceivably replace a position. As I mentioned a minute ago, we're going to apply AI to our reception area, where it's totally going to be automated. I know that, right now there's a lot of going on about telemedicine. Who would have thought 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that you were going to have an appointment with your physician or your therapist on your computer? No one, thought of that. No, I have to go see the doctor. No, open up your computer and you can see the doctor on your screen. So I think that there are things where AI possibly will replace certain workers. I've heard about in manufacturing, in the automobile industry, uh, possibly in publishing. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But is the potential there? Yeah, yeah. But some people are going to look at it as a good resource and not something negative. What do you do if you have high turnover in your organization? And some of the positions where you have high turnover, you could conceivably apply AI to it. And this way, You save the salary and the benefit, and you still get the job done. I look at it as akin to driverless cars. We're experimenting with that right now around the globe. I think it's only another 2-3 years away before people will go out and purchase vehicles that they don't have to drive. Just sit back and enjoy the ride.
Yes, I think yeah, that's actually very interesting. And I actually read an article years ago. It was
Hmm.
in Wall Street Journal, and they talk about these autonomous cars, right? They just basically drive themselves. You just tell them where you're going, and just takes you there. But then, to your point, it's gonna be a day that we won't need a car at all. Like, no need a car. Then we just need to go someplace, and we just call one of these, autonomous cars or taxis. They just come, take us to wherever
Hmm.
we like to go, and then back and forth. Then it also changes the architecture, because if I don't
Hmm.
need a car, why should I have a
True.
garage in my house? So then they'll stop building
Hmm.
the garages, for the houses. So there's going to be a house or different houses, but no need for garage anymore, because there will be no car. So one actually evolution affects another one, not only in the business sense, but also on day-to-day sense, like in daily life also
Yeah,
is also affected,
I
and
agree
that's
with that.
fascinating.
And I think people are going to have to be open to new ideas and new challenges because, as you said, this is how we evolve as a society. What when I was going to school, in the late 1950s, there were no computers, there were no cell phones. It was very different in the 80s when my own children started to go to school. And now in 2025, it's different again. Everything is automated, and, you go to school with a tablet, with a cell phone. Uh, and everything's automated, and that wasn't around. I remember typing term papers. Now you don't have to do that anymore. You could open up chat GPT, put in a couple of ideas, and there's your paper.
Yes, that
Yep.
is true. That is true. And yeah, it's gonna be, it's also
Hmm.
conversational,
Yeah.
right? So we are just talking to ChatGPT or
Hmm.
Gemini or others, just like talking to
Yeah.
someone else, an expert. In this case, it's expert of pretty much
Right.
everything that you get the answers of. Still, it's learning though. Still, it's learning. Not all the
Hmm.
answers are great, but we can see the change. I mean, it keeps
Hmm.
learning. So the answers that we are getting is better than before, even about the same
Hmm.
subject that we are asking. And one of the things that I like about ChatGPT, which was really fascinating, was it gives you
Hmm.
options. I was about to make a decision about something, and then it just gave me like a couple of two, three different options. Like, you can do this, maybe you
Hmm.
can do that, you can do this, and
Yeah.
take a pick. It's just like talking to someone, maybe even better. So
Absolutely.
that is amazing. That is amazing. And to your point, so the talent acquisition and retention is a
Oh,
common
sure.
challenge, right? So because of the podcast, I talk to different professions from different
Hmm.
industries, some from manufacturing, some from services, and so on. So finding the talent, retaining the talent,
Yeah.
that's a challenge. So there was, I think, 2 3 weeks ago, we had another episode, and we talk about AI and how AI actually will be shaping the workforce. And some companies already started putting AI
Hmm.
agents, AI employees in their
Yeah.
organizational chart. So let's say I'm the head of, let's say, purchasing department. Let's say I'm the purchasing director. So I have a couple of AI
Hmm.
employees reporting to me, and I report to general manager or someone else in our team. But then having AI agents, AI employees in the organization chart was really
Yeah.
it was news to
Sure.
me. So that was
Same
really
same
interesting.
holds true with
Um,
robots. You got to put the robots in your T of O for sure. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So this is a bonus question because we didn't talk about this. It wasn't in the list, but I just want to take your pick, just learn your opinion. What do you think about the regulation of AI? So that's a subject about that's something that we talk about is in
Hmm.
technology, business technology field all the time. How to regulate it. So one news that I actually got a couple weeks ago was about New York State. If you lay off some part of your workforce because of AI, you need to
Hmm.
document it. So it's just starting documentation right now. That's what I understood. But I can tell it's going
Hmm.
someplace. Not yet, but it's gonna be some sort of a regulation. It's just preparation. I don't know about other states yet, so I'm trying to gather some information. I like to learn about your take. What do you think about regulation of AI
Well, I've
in
always
general?
been a strong believer that, if you look at the internet needs to be regulated. I mean, if you look at what's going on now with social media, and I believe very strongly, Kevin, that many of the problems America has been facing for the last 10 years is the result of social media. I mean, we have a government that's basically being run, on X or Truth Social. And that stuff needs to be regulated. You have people that are getting, phys- physically and emotionally sick because of social media. Our children are spending way too much time uploading information about their lives on social media. So there needs to be certain safeguards put in place to protect the public. And in many ways, it's not so much protecting the public from social media as it really is, in my opinion, protecting the public from themselves, because people become so addicted to the fact that they can communicate with people all over the world. And some of it is very positive, but then, there is such a thing as a dark web out there. And I think in terms of AI, there's going to have to be some regulations put into place to protect people as well. Because you don't want to create a situation where millions of people are being laid off from their jobs, because that will, have devastating impact upon the economy. So you have to sort of look at it and take smaller steps as to where this can be helpful. Where AI makes sense, where it can most benefit the community, the public, the country, and take it from there. The problem I think we have currently is if you look at Congress, that's not a tech savvy organization. The majority of people in Congress are still holding on to flip phones as opposed to smartphones. They don't
Mhm.
understand the technology. They don't understand AI. They don't understand social media that well. Their reference point, is X. I have an account on X. Okay, what does that mean? That you can, post nasty comments about someone, that you can post pictures up there? There's also so much uh, that there is out there with social media. It's not just one or two companies. It's the same thing with streaming television. Now you can get your news on a dozen different channels, including social media. So I think the same thing will hold true for AI. It's got to come from a trusted source, and you have to be able to present the research and the data that makes people feel comfortable using it.
I like to shift our conversation to role
Mm,
models. You have decades of
yeah.
experience. Have you had any role models? Do you have any role models that you can share with our
Yeah,
audience?
in my field, there are historic people that worked within the realm of social work, but then there are also people like Harry Chapin, who founded this organization. And what a role model he was for so many people, especially young people, not just for his music and his, concerts, but also for his social policy stances, for his understanding of an issue like hunger, which he embraced and really, as an individual, made a difference. I always try to look back at my career on the people I reported to, who my CEO was, who my leaders were in the field. And I look back on them very fondly because I learned so much from all of them. So, and I do hope in many ways that as I depart, that our young staff here at Long Island Cares might think of me as somewhat of a role model as they move forward in their careers. So, yeah, I had plenty of role models, both personal and professional.
Yeah, this is very exciting. You are one of my role models. I
Thank
can
you.
tell you that. Yeah, of course, of course. It's an honor to have you in this podcast. And do you have any career lessons learned that you can share with us?
Career lessons. Yeah, I think so. I think, my career has been based on my willingness to take a risk. and take a chance. And I encourage people, regardless of where they work, nonprofit, for profit, that, if you see something that needs to be changed, say something, take the risk, make a proposal. Maybe we could do things differently. I think it's important for people to think creatively outside the box, to strive for innovation. And then, in terms of leadership in my field, I think it's very important for people to listen. We all do very well in the nonprofit field, especially at the top levels of talking. But I think we could do a little more, less talking and more listening, to hear from the people we work with, to hear from the people we serve, the people who fund us. So I think between listening and being able to take a risk and be the most creative self that you can be, that would be my lessons.
Can you tell us about your interest and passions outside of
Well,
work?
outside of work, I do, love to go to the movies with my wife and my family. We have two dogs that we're raising, and so that's a great passion of mine. We like to go to the beach. We like to go to concerts. I do have a life outside of Long Island Cares. Some people would question, do you really? Because you're always there. Whenever something's going on, we see you. But no, there's a lot that I look forward to at the end of the day when I leave my office.
Well, you have a very busy schedule on daily
True.
basis, and how do you stay motivated and
I'm.
inspired,
That's a great
even
question.
there are
I'm
challenging times? Yes.
inspired by the people I work with. I'm inspired by the people who volunteer for our organization. Uh, every day there's something good happening at Long Island Cares. We're not static. For the 17 years that I've been here, I've always told people that this organization is a work in progress, that we can change what we do on any single day. We can, design things. We can come up with different ways to provide our work. You listen to your staff, you hear what they're seeing, what they're experiencing, and so that's how I stay motivated.
Well, so in our podcast, our most important mission is to share educational and
Hmm.
informative content, and we have different listeners, especially for those who are thinking about getting into nonprofit industry. Do
Hmm.
you have any career advice for them?
Uh, my career advice to people that were looking to get involved in the nonprofits is really identify your passion, what you want to do, who you want to help. Do you want to work with children? Do you want to work, with seniors? Do you want to do veteran services? Do you want to focus on, therapy? Do you want to focus on providing advocacy work? Do you really want to help solve, hunger? Find what you're interested in, uh, and then pursue that, because there's great opportunity within the nonprofits. Uh, Things change, funding changes, people can get new grants tomorrow, and are able to, expand their services. So identify the field that you're interested in working in, and then go and pursue the important educational component that you need, college degree. And maybe you don't need a college degree, but find an organization that interests you, maybe go volunteer for a little while, and then make a decision. So it's always find your passion and then see if you could apply it.
So for those who likes to learn about Long Island Cares and the organization, what is the best way? Is there a website that you like to share with our
Sure.
audience?
Yeah. The best way to learn more about Long Island Cares, including how to volunteer, how you can support the organization, maybe sponsor a food drive, go on to our website at licares.org, or tune in to our social media channels. We're on all of them, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and, all the other ones. And you could learn more about us and get involved. I think you'll find it very rewarding.
Thank you very much, Paul, for being with us in your busy schedule. It means a lot to us. And
Thank you,
I'm
Kevin.
sure our audience also enjoyed this conversation, very informative. So I wish you a great week,
So,
and thank you so much for being with us.
okay, stay well.
Thank you. You too. Thank you so much. Well, to our audience and to our listeners, thank you very much for being with us today. It was another informative The American Business Podcast episode today. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much with Paul Tector. That was a special interview. And also, we had a chance to make this interview live. So that was also, they also made it even more exciting for us. And we also celebrate your support. We just passed more than 84,000 YouTube subscribers limit that we were actually having in our minds, but it's getting more and more. So we truly appreciate your support. If you haven't done so, please visit our YouTube channel. We have actually QR code right here. You can actually scan it and you can subscribe. You can share your thoughts, put your comments, and like if you are interested in our podcast. And we truly appreciate your support. As you know, we broadcast every week from New York metro area to US, North America, as well as globally. And we have a great list of experts and executives actually in our calendar, and we'll keep bringing you these informative and educational podcast episodes every week. So we truly appreciate your support. Would you like to be a guest in our podcast? Do you know someone who likes to be a guest? You can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. And we are very responsive. So if you reach out to us, we'll make sure to respond. And if you have a bit of feedback, you can also send us an email. You can also scan this QR code and fill the form to share your thoughts with us. Maybe you have an idea in terms of any guest or subject that you like us to cover, that you like to learn about. Please let us know. Send us an email, scan this QR code, fill the form, reach out to us. If you like to be a sponsor, if you like to advertise and promote your business, you can also send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We have great sponsors. You can see them in our YouTube channel. And we are getting more and more businesses coming to our business podcast to promote their products and services. We definitely welcome it. So if you're interested, you can also send us an email, and we can start the conversation together. Let's see, as I have also a couple of other notes that I need to share with you. Let's also pull up my notes and we can continue. All right, great. So you can also visit our website, americanpodcast.tv. When you visit our website, you'll see our schedule. That is basically the list of coming episodes as well as our guests and the subjects that we will be covering about. So I encourage you to visit our official website as well, americanpodcast.tv. And we have a sponsor, IPVANISH VPN. If you are looking for a VPN, IPVANISH is a great option. I also use IPVANISH. It's a solid system. You can use this link that I have on the screen, and you can learn more about IPVANISH VPN. And if you like it, you can subscribe to it. I'd like to thank you for your time and thank you for your interest. I'm looking forward to having you in the coming The American Business Podcast ABP episodes. Thank you very much and have a great day.